Bills have gone for it or just take the field goal for overtime?
No, Skip, I'm going for it. If you can't pick up a third of a yard, a half of a yard, or whatever it was, I thought Josh Allen gave a hell of an effort, Skip, on third down to try to get there. And what happened?
He was a little short.
He was a little short, yes. Because what happened, Skip, he had the ball, and when he saw he was going to get hit, he tucked it. If he had just left it, but he was concerned that they were going to make him fumble the ball, he saw Dak Prescott, what happened, trying to go over the top, and he ended up fumbling the football. But, Skip, in that situation, look, it's as simple as this. You make it, you're a genius. If you're not, you should have kicked the ball. We saw John Harbaugh ask Lamar Jackson, you want to go for it? Lamar says yes, they go for it. Brandon Staley had been going for it on fourth downs all year. He goes for it early, and they keep missing and missing and missing. Like, what the hell are you thinking about, Staley, the head coach of the Chargers?
Yep.
But, Skip, in this situation, you got a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. And what happened? The guy jumped the snap, got a great read, left tackle, got blitzed. You never let a guy cross your face on short yardage and goal line. He crossed his face. Josh Allen did slip some, but, Skip, I'm not so sure had he not slipped because the DN got such a great jump across the left tackle's face, I think he was going to stuff him anyway because in a situation like that, you're trying to get the guy to bounce the ball. You don't want him to go straight ahead. You want him to bounce it, and then you see those other guys are going to be able to step in and make a play. So I don't have a problem with that, Skip, and if you look at the way the defenses were playing, I'm not so sure they're not going to win that game because they only had one punt after the first quarter. Tennessee had started to go up and down the field. They had no answer for Derrick Henry, Skip, and we're going to talk about Derrick Henry in relationship to the MVP, but he was sensational again last night. Tannehill started off slow. He was awful. I think at one point, Skip, he might have been 9 or 20, and then all of a sudden he heated up.
Yep.
A.J. Brown got going. He started finding receivers, and so, Skip, I do not have a problem with that. Go for it in that situation. You only need a half a yard. You mean to tell me you can't get a half a yard? The offensive line had been playing really well up until that point. So for me, I would have gone for it. I don't really like these guys, a lot of these guys going for it on fourth down, Skip, on their own 30, on their own 40-yard line. Nah, not that early in the game. But in this situation with Josh Allen, I'm going for it. He said 10 out of 10. I'm going for it 12 or 12.
Okay.
I'm going for it in that situation.
And by the way, speaking of numbers, Josh Allen on fourth and short situations in his career is 13 of 14 going into that play last night.
Yes.
So he's trusting 10 out of 10 because he's 13 out of 14.
Is there a quarterback in the NFL bigger than he is, Skip? I mean, they say 6'5", 240. Skip, he might be 6'5", 250. That's a big man.
I mean, Flacco's an inch taller,
right?
But he's
he
put together.
Right.
Okay, so I hear you on all that, and I completely agree. You're on the road. You're clearly the better team.
Yes.
Even though Tennessee, to your point, had been going up and down the field, who's the better team? Buffalo's just better.
Right.
And when I look at these numbers, you're already 7 of 13 on third down.
Right.
And you had run at that point, well, the grand total for the game is 73 to 51 plays.
Right.
So you're dominating time of possession because you're just running more plays than they are, and yet the problem is you end up 2 of 5
in the red zone.
That's
the ball game.
Okay, so but the point is you're the superior team. I give you that, and there were moments last night when I'm saying, man, maybe Buffalo is the best team because offense, defense. And remember, Buffalo has had 2 shutouts. The whole rest of the league has had one other one. Okay, so I'm ready to bless them. I'm ready to coronate, to elevate. And then this happens. But when you get to that moment of truth, if you're that guy in that team, and if you're an MVP candidate, just put the ball in his hands and say, get
Go
me.
make a play.
It's a foot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's 2 feet at the most.
Yeah.
And what happened? He took the wrong route.
Right.
Because he's not Tom Brady.
Right.
What do I always tell you and you laugh at me? Tom Brady is simply the greatest quarterback sneaker we have ever seen. Would you believe that on quarterback sneaks in his career, Tom Brady is 31 of 35? That's off the charts because over the last 30 years, the only quarterbacks who are close to them, speaking of Flacco has 18 sneaks for first downs, and Roethlisberger, another big, strong quarterback, has 18. Well, Brady's got 31 out of 35, and I always say, it's genius what he's doing because you have to read the sneak also.
Right.
You have to read it and you have to anticipate, are they going to crash left? Is everybody going to crash left? Because on that play, the whole Titans line crashes to their left. And Jeffrey Simmons is a load now because
Well,
he's
yeah,
300 plus. And remember, he was the 19th overall pick in 2019 out of Mississippi State.
Right.
Well, he just crashes across the face of Deion Dawkins, who just caught unawares, and he loses leverage.
Right.
Deion Dawkins is wiped out, and Jeffrey Simmons absolutely blows the play sky high because he crashes right into Josh Allen's lane. And so Josh hits a brick wall. There's nowhere to go, and then his feet go out from under.
Exactly.
He tries to push off.
Skip, I'm not so sure, even if his feet doesn't go out there because the defensive end gets such a great jump, I'm not so sure he made it anyway.
So let's just say, for the sake of argument, if Josh Allen has a little better feel for how to sneak, if you can sense it and smell it right, and you take the snap and you hesitate just a split second, and then you go left with the ball, go hard far left.
I don't know, Skip.
I don't know.
But Skip, if you look at it, that's what they want him to do. That's why you want him to bounce, because here's 58, and then here come Byard.
Come in there, but I think 58, he would have had leverage on 58. He would have gotten lower than 58. But listen, what happens is Jeffrey Simmons is so low, he's on the ground. He has literally, because Josh tried to go 6'5" to the ground and try to go under, take the underpass, and there's no underpass.
No.
It is completely blockaded by 300-plus pounds of Jeffrey Simmons. So you've made the wrong choice, because he tried to walk into it, because he starts in the gun, obviously, and he tries to walk up and catch him off guard like, just snap it to me on the walk, and I'll take the snap and just dive left. Well, you got to read it and feel it and know where to stick your head, because Brady always picks the right hole, and he just crashes headlong. And Josh Allen said after the game that he doesn't find quarterback sneaking that much fun. He said, I don't really love it.
No, they're teeing off on you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you're always taking shots at Brady like you're not a tough guy. You you just get rid of the ball. You don't take any punishment. Well, you don't think Brady takes some punishment on all those sneaks?
But Skip, you figure that Brady's had 35 sneak attempts in 22 seasons.
Okay.
So that's basically...
No, but every time he does it, it's just money.
Yeah.
Because if you can do it and pull it off, it is the most money play, because you don't have to risk a handoff.
Well, yeah, sometimes that's the difference between winning and losing a game. That was the difference in winning and losing a ball game, Skip. Sometimes we don't realize it, and a lot of times it doesn't come down to the last play of the game. Sometimes Brady is doing it to continue a drive to make sure you don't get the ball back, and so it's a third down. And so, give Brady credit for doing that, but I'm going to give Simmons a great job. He did a great job. You're on the road, Skip, so you're already going to probably be a little late because the crowd is going crazy, so you don't hear it as well as you would if you're at home where the crowd is hushed. He jumped the count. He wasn't offside, but when I say he jumped the count, when Josh Allen basically said, he's moving. He didn't get the tuh, he got the and Simmons has already crossed.
No, they all crashed. The whole line crashed hard left.
That's what you do, Skip. I'm trying to get across God's face because I want the guy to bounce the football. If I can get him to bounce it, I've done my job.
All right, so do they have Derrick Henry in their backfield? They do not.
They do not.
And I look at what happened last night, and Singletary had 5 rushes for 27 yards, and little Zach Moss had 8 rushes for 24 yards. So you don't want to put the ball in their hands, right?
They're small guys, Skip.
Okay.
I mean, Derrick Henry is 6'3.5", 250, 260.
Well, you told me he's one of the biggest humans.
Yeah. They lying. When they talk about 240, they lying. He ain't 240.
Okay. So you don't have the run, the battering ram runner. So you're saying, okay, so what else are you going to do? You're going to keep Josh in the shotgun and snap it to him and let him roll out?
No.
It's only a foot.
Right, exactly.
So
exactly.
Do you want him to try to read option? Do you want to try to get him just to roll all the way to the pylon, try to beat somebody?
And Skip, you remember Coach Dungy say he believed Peyton Manning's neck injury happened on a quarterback sneak in Washington. So them guys coming in giving you that's their opportunity, Skip. It ain't no, he a quarterback, he defenseless. That's your opportunity to try to tee off on him. And you better believe they're trying to tee off on him. But Skip, I would have gone for it. In a situation like that, it looks to me the defenses were tired. Derrick Henry, when the first quarter, Skip, he's going for no yards. He's getting tackled in the backfield. Now all of a sudden, they're 3 yards. They're 4 yards. They're 8 yards. They're 11 yards. And I knew, Skip, when they were, what was it, 6-0. And I'm like, you guys are going to regret this. And the next thing you know, 76 yards later, as bad as they were playing, they were in the lead. And you like, okay, Buffalo, you just made this a lot more difficult on yourself than what it really needed to be.
All right, and quick point about Derrick Henry's 76-yard run. in all my years of covering and watching and studying this league, I'm not sure I've ever seen that big a human, that strong a human, that powerful a human run that fast with a football under his arm. He was motoring. I don't know. They said it.
21.8.
21.1. I don't.